Thanks, Elizabeth. We've got a Fox News alert. The New York State Department of Health now launching an investigation into the clinic that treated comedian Joan Rivers just days before she slipped into a coma and died yesterday. Rivers remembered for a career that spanned across 5 decades in several continents. She even appeared right here as one of our friends.
I met somebody on 48th Street. He's homeless, and it's working out great because every night he says to me, "Your doorway or mine," and it's just
fantastic.
Oh man! The question now: did something go wrong at the clinic? Peter Johnson Jr. has handled these types of cases in the past, and he joins us now to explain.
Good morning.
Peter,
condolences to the family too. Really,
tragic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Melissa's a friend of this program as well. So we're starting with an investigation.
The New York State Department of Health has launched an investigation. They say it's a routine investigation based upon the clinic identifying an outcome that went wrong. Obviously, Joan Rivers was brought in cardiac or respiratory arrest to Mount Sinai Medical Center in New York after undergoing some kind of endoscopic procedure, meaning a tube or some kind of device placed down her throat. Perhaps a vocal cord procedure, according to some reports, and obviously something went wrong, either as a result of anesthesia, either as a result of something called aspiration, when someone will disgorge the contents of their stomach during a procedure. We don't know what's going on. So the Department of Health is looking into it. There's another body called the Office of Professional Misconduct that would also look into a physician's conduct if it was warranted.
You know what? A couple of people have said to me, why wasn't she in the hospital having something like this done? Isn't this a procedure that generally hospitals don't do? You do have it done in clinics?
That's an important question. Almost half now procedures in this country are done in outpatient ambulatory facilities. But we need to understand, in New York and other states across the country, the same strictures, the same regulations do not apply to outpatient ambulatory facilities that they do to hospitals. Very often there's nothing called accreditation. There's something called the Joint Commission on Accreditation that every 3 years goes to hospitals and checks them out. These types of facilities, this one opened just in the last couple of years, not subject to that kind of stricture. So the issue is investigation in terms of discipline. And the second issue people are asking about, is there a potential malpractice case?
Of course.
Meaning, was there a departure from the standard of care in the community, the medical community of New York? Did they do something that they shouldn't have done? The question you ask, should this procedure, based upon any pre-existing medical conditions she had, pulmonary problems, cardiac problems, diabetes, any kind of issue, should have been done in a hospital setting where there were more crash carts, where there was more of an ability to resuscitate. By definition, if something goes wrong in an outpatient facility, they must call 911, and an ambulance must come and then bring that person to the hospital. Do you delay time? Absolutely.
Sure. One of the things I've heard people say is they're uncertain. You know, at this point, they didn't know how long her brain went without oxygen, which suggests, wasn't somebody watching that?
Yeah, absolutely. Someone should have been watching it. Either a board-certified anesthesiologist, that's a physician, or a nurse practitioner anesthesiologist. That's a nurse who's trained to be an anesthesiologist at, keeping something on her finger called a pulse oximeter to measure the oxygen in her blood. Were they monitoring that? Her heart rate. Did she just have a heart attack?
Yeah. Well, it's tragic news. She died at the age of 81, and she was on this program and on the channel a lot, and you even sat down with her.
I absolutely had the great opportunity to interview her here with Brian, and I went to see her show in Vegas, and she was so very nice to me. So we end on a very positive, happy memory of Fox and Friends and Joan Rivers. What are you given 12,000 people in that room? I mean, it's beautiful.
Not my room. My room was 1,200 people of a certain age. You have to make room for the walkers.
Joan Rivers died at the age of 81, and that's the way she would want it. She would want to leave us laughing.
Funny lady.
Indeed. All right, Peter, thank you very much.
Okay.